Okay, so it seems like everybody is already fed up with the recent Bitcoin price action. It hasn't been doing anything for ages now, and we have essentially been inside of this slow grind towards the downside, which is absolutely boring. So I completely understand where everybody is coming from right now. However, I just had one massive realization for the Bitcoin price inside the daily time frame, and what's crazy is many people are completely overlooking this. So we have a lot to discuss right now. We're going to be talking about the recent price action, the important levels to look out for, the possible scenarios in the short term, mid term, and long term, and much more. So you definitely would want to miss this update video I have right now for the Bitcoin price. So let us begin inside the daily time frame, and then later on in the video we will move to the longer time frames and discuss my outlook. But right now, as you guys can see, a quick update for the Bitcoin price. We are still inside of this short-term downtrend, consecutively putting in lower highs and lower lows. So we are clearly, for the Bitcoin price, we are clearly still inside of this downtrend. We have this resistance trend line as well. So at the moment, the price action is still bearish, the structure is still bearish, and the big news I have right now is while everybody is out of the market right now, everyone's completely bored, so they left the market. It seems like Bitcoin is gearing up for a massive move in the next couple of weeks, because take a look at this. We have two scenarios right here for the Bitcoin price. And scenario one is the bullish case, while scenario two is a bearish case. Scenario one is we're expecting Bitcoin to pump towards the upside to 74K, which from the price we're at right now, that would be about a 16% pump towards the upside. And what is the reason behind this? The reason behind this is because Bitcoin at the moment is already being compressed between support right here and between this resistance trend line. So yeah, as you guys can see, the price is being squeezed between support and resistance, and at some point a breakout will eventually happen. And the question is, will we break towards the upside or towards the downside? Well, the conditions are, if we want to see Bitcoin have a pump towards the upside, we must break above this resistance trend line and flip this to support, because the moment we see Bitcoin break above this resistance trend line and flip that to support, that would break the overall bearish structure, because you guys can see we have consecutively been putting in lower highs and lower lows. So the structure is bearish, but the moment we see Bitcoin break above this bearish trend line, the moment Bitcoin breaks above this resistance trend line, that breaks the bearish structure, and that increases the likelihood of Bitcoin pumping towards the upside and beginning a new uptrend. Because the moment we break above this trend line is the moment we break above the recent swing high right here, and that would in return lead to a more bullish structure. Therefore, we could expect higher prices, and we could expect a pump to the next target at around 74K. That is scenario one. So prepare for this big move in the next couple of weeks in case it happens. Now you are aware. Now, what about the bearish scenario? What is the bearish scenario for the Bitcoin price? And the bearish scenario is if we see Bitcoin in the daily time frame have a break below support right here, and if we fail to hold this support zone, that could be bad for the Bitcoin price. If we break below 57.7K, that could lead to a more bearish price action in the future, because the moment we lose support, this will now flip to resistance, and we could expect Bitcoin to move towards the downside to the next support zone or the next support level at 52.2K. But this could be good as well, because if we do touch 52.2K, if we ever see Bitcoin touch 52.2K, there is a ton of liquidity right here, which we could scoop that liquidity, which would help us push the Bitcoin price towards the upside and continue this overall uptrend. So again, there's a ton of liquidity at 52.2K. So if we do see Bitcoin ever touch this level, that could also be beneficial for the Bitcoin price, because we could have a bounce from here, and that could potentially kickstart the next uptrend for Bitcoin. But again, just be aware of this possible of these possible two scenarios in the next couple of weeks, because again, the Bitcoin price at the moment is being squeezed between support and resistance, between support and between this resistance trend line, and eventually we are going to be seeing that breakout because we can't keep going like this for too long. At some point, the Bitcoin price will have to make a decision on which way it wants to head to, either towards 74K or either towards 52.2K. So look out for these targets in the next couple of weeks, and I am expecting some sort of volatility for the Bitcoin price in the next couple of weeks, because right now it seems like the price action is, to me, it is clearly looking like the calm before the storm. Now let us move towards the longer weekly time frame and discuss what is my long-term outlook for the Bitcoin price. So in case you all haven't been following the channel, I have said this multiple times. I believe that we are still inside the early stages of this cycle, and I believe that we are still far from the top. I believe that we are still inside the middle of this bull cycle, and I'm expecting the Bitcoin price to top right here at this range, at this top end, at around 150K per Bitcoin. So I'm expecting Bitcoin to top off at around 150K, and I believe that right now what we're seeing right now is just a temporary correction or a pullback, which would help us gear up for the next major move towards the upside, because we could not keep going up forever. So in order to stay healthy this bull run, we need pullbacks such as these in order to continue the bull run, essentially. So I just see these dips as buying opportunities, especially for high conviction altcoins. But right now, I am still holding onto my altcoins, and I'm not selling anything until we do see Bitcoin cross 100K. That is when I may start to develop an exit strategy. But right now, personally, this is my opinion, I think we are still early in the cycle, and I believe that getting shaken out right now could be a bad choice. But that's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm strategizing, and that's how I'm playing the market right now. So I want to tell you guys that we're about to go through one of the biggest bull runs of our life, and if you are serious about making life-changing wealth in this market, you can no longer do this alone. You need a group of people, you need a network of people who would supply you with value, who would supply you with information, and who would help you spot opportunities in this market, and that can only be accessed in my private networking group over in Discord. This is called the Swan Group, where I release weekly market insights and updates. The reason why our members are growing rapidly is because all we do is provide value with one another and help each other elevate in this market. So if you're not in this group yet, you are missing out. So be sure to join through the link in the description and act now.